Yo, 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 we back at it again. Her early edition. Usually I've been waiting till the sun come out. But I go ahead and give you, some food for thought, Monday motivation as I go on my journeys, to start my day and get it going. I know, like I said, it's going to be dark. But bear with me. We're going to get some light here in a little bit. What I do want to talk about is it's a lot of things, man. It's a lot of things. I'm gonna start with gaslighting, man. We'll start with that just because of what's going on with today in the world. I'm always saying this: watch what you're putting in your mind. Watch what's being, portrayed on these airwaves. To get you all in your feels, because 9 times out of 10 there's nothing you can really do about it. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, that's how they're trying to make you feel, that you can't do about it because you're not doing nothing about it. Nah. I would just say start with yourself, start with your community, and then work out from there. You know what I'm saying? And and if things happen from that, then that's good. But as far as all this worldly stuff, a lot of it, you're kind of like casting your, your pearls, as they would say, elsewhere, where you might need them to actually be, within your proximity. But, yeah, just be mindful of that as we journey further into the rest of this, so-called year. Just be mindful of the gaslighting that may go on as far as the distractions and, what they want you to focus on, or try to get you to focus on, or talk about, or worry about, or, So, that's one thing. Secondly, what I wanted to talk about is actually, it's about the Atlanta series. Nobody's really been touching bases on that, or at least I haven't seen anybody really talking about it. So I was like, man, you know what? That'd be a good little segment for a few weeks coming, that I can touch bases on a majority of those episodes, because I know we got the final season coming our way. But this last season that's out now on FX, if you ever get a chance, I've been telling people to check it out. But it hit a lot of double entendres, as we would say, as far as just life in general and what we go through. But I'll talk about the first episode as far as that goes. It's just saying, man, if you ever saw the show, you know what I'm getting at. And I'm kind of put it in, bunch it up a little bit. In the first episode, there's this kid in class, pretty much, and he just started, he was just dancing, whatever, doing his thing, man, expressing himself. Express yourself. And, the teacher got mad and told him, you need to go to, the office, whatnot, called his mom. And the mom was trying to tell him, like, man, you need to calm down, acting up in front of these folks, because they may not understand you. And, just just pretty much just do what you need to do and get your schoolwork done. But in the same token, he was just dancing, whatever the case may be. But it was taken out of, his mom was just being too harsh on it a little bit, but she was also trying to just like, hey man, do what you need to do, pretty much in this world. So when she did that, she was just like kind of like yelling at him, and the teacher saw that, and the teacher thought that he may be getting abused at home. So she was like, if you are, you can call me, whatever, if you need help. And he just looked at her like, what? And he didn't say nothing. He didn't even call, whatever. He just looked at it. So the teacher took it upon herself to get DHS involved with the kid, and and that's what she did. But in hindsight, you know what I'm saying, the kid would go home, you know, he do his thing. That's what he does. He liked to dance and he just expressed himself. So when he went home, you know, he asked his mom, hey, Mom, what we got left? She's like, we got that leftover spaghetti in there. And he's like, man, we ain't never got nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? So he started kind of being a little bit ungrateful as far as what they did have, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, boy, you better go eat that spaghetti up in there. So he actually, you know what I'm saying, ate it, but then DHS showed up. And the mom saw it, so the mom was not even playing with that. She was like, you know what, boy? If this is what you want, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even about that right now. And he's like, Mom, I didn't call him. She's like, no, grab your stuff. You can go with them. And they was just coming to ask questions. They wasn't even coming to pick them up or anything like that. But you know what I'm saying? She was like, kind of like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. And he kept on trying to tell the mom, like, nah, I didn't call these people. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, he ended up going with DHS and ended up getting placed in a foster family. Obviously, the foster family was someone not of his, you know what I'm saying, of his descent, as they would say. And they had other kids just like him as well, right? And and through the whole thing, it was just funny, man. So anyway, so he's with them. He watching how everything's going. It was, you know what I'm saying, two ladies, you know what I'm saying, bringing up these multiple kids in this house for whatever reason. When they was cooking chicken, that chicken was not even cooked. So it was another play on that. Like I said, there's a lot of double entendres in this show, man. So while they was playing on that, as far as, you know, this chicken's not even cooked, he's like, this is nasty. And it's like, you better eat that. He's like, I ain't eating that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now he started thinking about, man, I even though I had leftover spaghetti, you know what I'm saying, it was still good there, you know. So like I said, there's lessons in all this. So he's not eating it. Later on, you know, he's getting hungry. So he ended up deciding to eat the nasty chicken later on down the road. For whatever reason, these ladies now are looking at these kids, man, and whatever going through their mind, they start tripping, you know what I'm saying? They just like, you know what? We got these kids and, you know, looking at the world like, man, the world is crazy, which it is, you know what I'm saying? But if you got good intentions on bringing your little ones up, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, they'll do all right out here, man. But just keep that in mind, man. We got to make sure that we stay focused at task at hand and, you know, make sure that they got this, you know what I'm saying? They're not here just for no reason. They're here for a reason. But so he ends up overhearing that they, you know what I'm saying, they start getting real crazy. They're like, hey, we about to, you know what I'm saying, do this. We're going to, you know, take these kids with us, about to commit suicide because this world, you know what I'm saying, it's too crazy and we, you know, blah, blah, blah. We can't do it, whatever. I don't even know why they even got the kid, you know, fostered the kids. So the boy hears this stuff. He's like, what? So these other kids, you know what I'm saying, that's probably not thinking for themselves or thinking that they're in a good situation. He tells them like, man, nah, he gets a plan where we about to get up out of here, you know what I'm saying? Because they also treating their dog better than the kids, you know what I'm saying? So if you know, you know. Like I said, a double entendre is a lot of meanings in the show, in this episode by itself. So while he's finding out a way to, you know, get him out of there, they pretty much decided that they was gonna drive off a bridge with the kids in the back, and they tell him to go to sleep, and, you know, etc. So, you know, they take him to the park, and, you know, but the boy comes up with a plan to where, you know, they release the dog. That's the funny part. They release the motherfucking dog. It's like, no, we're not gonna kill the dog. We're gonna go release him into the wild. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of entendres with that. Like, they rather kill you and release everybody else in the wild instead of letting you go out in the wild, right? Anyways, so they thought they released the dog. He brought the dog back and put the dog in the back or whatever, and he let the kids, while they was talking, because they was trying to release the dog, while they was releasing the dog, thinking the kids was asleep in the back, he released the other kids and made it look like the kids are still back there. He was back there himself, and he got the dog back, put the dog back there, And then while they on the way to drop to the bridge, they're like, all right, here we go. They, jump out the bridge, but they see the kid open up the back door, and he rolls out, with all these sleeping bags, and, safely made it out. And then they go ahead and, did what they did and ended their life. So the kid ends up walking back home, and walks to the front door, and, and then mom was like, she's looking, hey, boy. He was like, yeah. And he ends up actually, appreciating what he has, as far as, he got the spaghetti and all that good stuff. But anyways, let me wrap it up. I'm on 10 minutes now. So with that whole episode, man, it was just saying, as when we look at the world in general, man, and the indoctrinations and the way certain, like I always say, the indoctrinations and the way that things are run, we think that it is best for us. And I say that all the time, that something not right, and whoever invented this way is not best for us. Maybe best for other people, but I know it's not best for me, because I can care less about money. I can care less about all these things that they try to get us to care about, as far as the status and, your classes and here and there, say, and all grand schemes of things, it doesn't mean anything, especially when you get it. And the ones that know will know, once you get these certain things, you're going to be like, man, what now? And then it doesn't really fulfill anything within you if you really, I guess, connected with the natural way of things, But if you feel fulfilled because you got this and got that, hey, more power to you. But me, just achieving the things that I wanted to achieve and got them, I still, felt okay. Now what, So, with this whole show, like I said, with that whole meaning, it was just saying, like, hey, they thought what was best for these kids was best for these kids, and it wasn't, and when you listen to other people or just kind of follow their lead, 9 times out of 10, they leading you down to your own destruction. So I thought that episode was cool on touching bases on that. I thought it was also cool on just being grateful for what you do have, because a lot of us tend to look for the grass is always green on the other side. And when we go look at the other side, we find out that it's not. And also just being around people that understand you, when you get around people that don't understand you, yes, that's where they're going to lead you to. They're going to lead you to a place where where they think is best for you, but it's not, because they don't understand you, or they may not, they're not you, And yes, we may understand different people here and there, and yes, we got different cultures and backgrounds and stuff, but in the same token, there's something also where it's just, hey, you may not get it, or, it is what it is. Unless you grew up like that, for the most part, you may get majority of it. But for the most part, that's just where it's at, where we are at a point where we feel this is the way that we should be living. But deep down, most of the people are like, man, something ain't right, and this ain't how we should be living, because we know how we should be living instead of living like others, But I'm gonna digress from that. So that show was cool. I'm gonna talk about, like I said, many more episodes that stood out and had some good meanings in it. But I wanted to kind of kick off, saying that food for thought for you guys for the Monday motivation. Also just, hey, be mindful of, people gaslighting, and be mindful of just knowing that your environment and knowing what's best for you, and not getting caught up in the glitz and glamours of what everybody else got going on, and thinking that, hey, this is what's going to better my life. And 9 times out of 10, it's not. You know what I'm saying? When you look within and understand yourself and understand the things that you like and enjoy, you start building the world around that, and you blossom from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like that, man. As always, 14 minutes. Hakuna Matata. I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. If you are still watching, thank you. And ACL, accept the change it or leave it. As always, it's your boy Big Laska. Deuces. Pieces. Holla. Holla, 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 holla.